Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on October 18th, 2023, at approximately 4:32 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally utilize in my day to day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the precise same philosophies that I live by. Now, I've handed these tools off to literally thousands of people over the years to varying degrees of success depending on their own efforts. Now, I will get into that further, but what we're going to do today is we are going to set you on the path to changing your life in spite of any setbacks you've been having, in spite of any hindrance that you've been coming up on. And let us see here. We didn't actually get one thing sorted out that we should have, so we're going to do that right now and get the other stream up and running. Which is literally, we do this, double check that, make sure it's not running. It is so. Then we go tick, and we go live. Now I can actually read what's on the screen. It's already been written. Now, right off the bat, before we get into anything, okay, let's minimize that. Gives you an idea how my day's been going. I'll get to why that went sideways in a minute. In the meantime, we open that up and in with the gold. Well, need that out of the way. So we pop that in there. And we have in with the gold, we have Chad Smith. And as per usual, at least from my standpoint, as usual, you copy that and drop the link in here. Now, this is the link to Chad Smith's archives. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. Give him a listen. And if you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Now, I'm looking at this, and I'm sitting at right now, well, we'll get to that in a minute. We then have Adam Lakatos in with the silver. Black Dragon, Semper Fi there, is in with the bronze. And slide down a bit, and who do we got here? We have Steph Lakatos in with the bronze. Oh, wait a minute. No, Steph Lakatos is in with honorable mention. And then we have coming in right hot behind, we have Shadow and Sun. And of course, Shadow and Sun have a wonderful little stream that is absolutely enjoyable to watch. So drop in, give them a listen. This is the link here. Give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give them a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of it. And we just scroll down here. And Black Dragon. Oh, I see we have the bacon mound here. This is a good thing. Now, I didn't actually get bacon today, but the elk jerky turned out beautifully. Football, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Well, we suffered a wonderful new setback today, and this is why I said it's time to quit playing games. It's time to really make things happen. So we're going to take this one step at a time as soon as I get a sheet cleared here. So let's take a look at this first, because we're going to walk through this with you. If you've got a sheet of paper handy or a recording device of some form, okay, what we're going to do is start today, right here, right now, changing the way your life is going in spite of the rest of the world. Okay, we're going to use, and I've mentioned this before, I'm going to borrow a line from Iron Man 3. And we're going to do a clean slate protocol, effective right now. Every single one of you is in exactly the same place right now. Okay, however you got here, whatever your past is, you cannot change it anyway, but you are right here, right now, and this is the only time in life that you can change anything. Okay, and that's the first lesson of the night. Okay, you can talk about changing. You can look back and go, well, gee, if I only knew then what I know now, that'd be a great thing. But what you do have is you know now what you've been doing that hasn't been working. Now, briefly put, I tried making a withdrawal, cashing in a GIC. Okay, that would have made it saved me a few months. As it is, I'm going right there. I am going to end up going down to the wire by the time I get everything sorted out. So let's start changing everybody's life. To that end, okay, to that end, I'm going to look at this. Now we've got this week already planned out, as it were. Okay, and it really does boil down to why wait any longer? Has procrastination gotten you I hate that word. Has procrastination achieved anything for you in your life aside from postponing success? There it is. So, we're dealing with altering your path right now, not at the end of the show, although we'll continue doing that. Okay, tomorrow we won't be on. On the 20th, we will be dealing with past lives. On the 21st, we're going to look at the way dream journals work and just exactly how effective they are. Now, I'm just going to add something to this calendar while I'm at it. Because the 22nd, which is Sunday, we end up with an open topic. Now, where is my sheet? Okay. Now, 23rd is a Monday. So what do we got? We don't have anything literally booked. So, since we are dealing with the alien information, races, agenda, lifestyles, that sort of thing. Okay, right now, and again, this boils down to getting your guys' input into how to get this stream to grow properly and really start getting ahead of the game. So, what topic? And let's face it, we've got 10 in the room already. This is fantastic. In the field of aliens, UFOs, ancient races, technologies, ships, alien worlds, the whole 9 yards. Okay, and literally the first one through the gate is one we go with. Okay, what topic would you like to tangle with? Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a race, a species, a reason for them being here, technology, whatever. Okay, what topic would we like to deal with? And this will be dealt with this Monday. In other words, just what, 5 days away here? Okay, and yes, I'm deliberately asking for input for a lot of reasons. As you know, I look at what's going on. Okay, what is this? Black Dragon is just going, Steph, you need to demand Adam to make you some bacon. Well, unless he's a bad boy, then ask a neighbor. Well, it's pretty hard to scramble to mess up bacon anyway. Rest assured, if there's a way to mess it up, I can do it. But what topic do we desire to look at? Okay, that'll be the first one that we're going to tangle with. But grab your sheet. If you don't have one, take a moment, grab a sheet of paper, because we're going to start dealing with it right off the bat here. And let's get that out of the way so I can actually see it. Whoop. And somebody said something, only I didn't scroll down far enough. Okay, what have we got? Uh-oh. Just looking at this. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, no time for, yeah. Adam's going, no time for Subway, running blind tonight. No tablet or headset. And we don't have neighbors. Well, if you don't have neighbors, at least you won't have a crowded area. Well, you know what you do there, Adam? You turn around and you contact head office. Contact the head office of Taco Bell and literally ask them if they would consider putting one in there. If you put it in as a truck stop, you can bet your bottom dollar they'll make money. Steph's going, you're the only one that would go. Intriguingly enough, much as Taco Bell may not be the top of the line as far as fast food goes, people that are traveling will stop at fast food. I have no idea anymore why. They'll stop at fast food before they stop at a restaurant. But I don't know about you, but in the last 20 years, fast food has gone from fast food to not fast and borderline not food. Black, that is so generous of you. Yeah, you know, Adam, we used to have a place. There was a place in Courtney where I grew up. Okay, and it was called, what the heck was it called now? I think it was called Joe's. It was just a little hole in the wall, right? And they, we ate there all the time. I still go back. Oh, not Joe's, George's. Okay, little hole in the wall. Sometimes those little holes in the wall work out absolutely beautiful. Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Yeah, where are we? Nathan. There we are. This is the link to Nathan's show. And it's really sad. I keep trying to get onto it and then my energy tanks, and that's the end of that story. Haven't quite figured out how to do it. But drop in, give him, listen to what he's got to say. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. The reason I do this part of it, as in put the streams in as they show up, is quite honestly because it's my way of sharing, considering the fact that more often than not, I miss the other shows. Okay, what was today? I just gotta see something here. And of course, my sheet's in the way. Today, yeah, I was up until went to bed at midnight. Was up at 3. Yeah, so I ended up. Yeah, I ended up. I'm working on 4 hours of sleep here. But okay, the first thing we do here. Still haven't picked out the first show for. Here's the thing. And I've got to get this sorted around. Monday's still open. Tuesday, we are going to be dealing with gaming, and I am bound and determined I'm going to have, and let me just make a note for myself. That's stuff I've got to have there. Okay. Is my office sorted out? That can go up there out of the way. Okay, now that sheet of paper I was talking about. This is why I keep this thing handy. Okay, my office desk right now is completely cleared, and this is important. From my end, it's very important. From your end, maybe not so much so. Okay, but pop that out of the way. Now, with that out of the way, I take a look at now my office right now is cleared. So the next thing I gotta do, where is now? First of all, wherever you're sitting, and Adam, you're driving, no writing. This is a bad thing. Absolutely. If you're driving, you can certainly talk into a mic, assuming you've got a hands-free set. Because let's face it, I really don't desire to find out that while you've been listening to anybody's radio live stream, that all of a sudden, oops, you weren't paying attention and you got sidelined by somebody. And rest assured, for those of you that aren't aware, okay, those of you that aren't aware, even a motorcycle hitting the side of a semi is going to create a problem for the semi driver. Psychological, if nothing else. Now I did notice somebody. Joe came in. Oh, okay. Joe. Joe is asking, how can red lights or red orbs travel at the speed of light so fast? Okay, there's a real simple way that happens. They're using something called the OTE drive. Okay, standing for the oscillator densification of tritrans spatial equilarity. By using an intriguing system, they draw their energy from the shock wave traveling through what I call null space to force them along faster. Okay, but to slow it down, they have to take the fractal inversion into consideration in order to slow the whole system down. By doing this, bearing in mind, light is not the fastest thing in existence. It just happens to be one of the fastest that mankind has been able to clock. You're more than welcome there, Nathan. Okay, but what you look at with that is first and foremost, and this is what I mean, when people talk about humans having the technology to chase off an alien invasion, not much of a prayer. Okay, just not much of a prayer at all. But the way they do it is they draw the energy into a conversion chamber in their own engine. Okay, net result, they pull themselves a whole lot faster. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Adam's going, he's got a hands-free set in 558, which last I checked was 150 kilometers away from home terminal. Was expecting 1157, my unit, to be done today. No, in all likelihood not. The reality of it is when we're looking at these red lights or red orbs, one thing you got to remember, there is an ability to fold space. Okay, not to fold time, but it will fold space. Okay, and basically, if you ever watched the show A Wrinkle in Time or read the book A Wrinkle in Time, do not ask me who the author was. Okay, but essentially what you're doing is you're here, you're aiming for here, and all you do is fold space so that both points place essentially you get a wormhole from one to the other, and that result you're at the other end. You're not technically traveling faster than the speed of light, but you're certainly covering the distance a lot quicker. Now, the first thing you do, I've already got the office cleared. Okay, so one thing, and I do intend on getting this sorted out before the end of tonight's show, because I'm already booked all the way to Saturday. So, Monday, we do know we're going to be looking at aliens of some form. Now, if one of you guys comes up with an idea before the end of the show, that works great. Then we're going to be looking on Tuesday. We're going to cover the gaming field. Okay, and just exactly how to get your imagination to work. Right now, we're working on a practical side. Adam goes, I saw an orb that was oscillating in different colors the other night. Green, blue, yellow, and orange. Now, one question. Are you certain that was one orb, or was it up in the sky and a whole bunch of lights from above the clouds? And the reason I ask is we're dealing with two very different things there. Just curiosity question for you there, Adam. Let me see here. Joe. Yeah, Joe. Let me see if there's another one I missed. Oh, um, okay. Okay, Joe, I'm just looking back up here. Why did that ever screen by in a hurry? All the way back up there. The first thing that I found that you've mentioned is where are we? Joe, yeah. At 7:37 p.m. Eastern time, dark out here. There's some paranormal activity happening in the cemetery right now. And I know I didn't see any vehicles come in whatsoever. Well, here's the thing about cemeteries. Okay, they are not in all reality quiet. Like cemeteries themselves are not full of quiet people. They're full of people, but rest assured, some of these guys are more active after they die than they ever were before they died. Okay. Yeah, very weird. So I'm just looking back at a few things here. Don't know what time these comments came in, but you are right, Shadow. Very weird start today. I was actually 2 minutes late according to my clock, but started off really quick. Okay, now what do we got? Yeah, when we're looking at the activity in a cemetery, understand these guys will travel from one plot to the next quite often. And Joe, you're probably witness to this more often than you realize. Quite often, they will be having a much more enjoyable party than we ever had when while we're alive. Okay, so what do we got here? Got gaming on the 24th, on the 25th. Well, on the 25th, we are looking at, and let's see if I've got something listed. What did I just do with it? That there. Nope, not that. Oh, there it is. Okay, on the 25th. Okay, we're going to go really, really sideways here because there's a lot of interest I'm seeing in paranormal activity on different topics that people have come up with that they really desire to get a look at. So we're going to look at that. We're going to start shifting gears here a little, I think. But the first thing we're going to do, okay, to get your life turned around is quite seriously on Wednesday, we are going to tangle with this. Okay. We are going to tangle with this. And yes, there is no question this is available, but I'm going to carry on. We're going to go through it and walk you through it because this is the backbone to literally how I changed my life. Okay, and took it from being extremely low self esteem to, shall we say, a little outspoken. At least I don't swear at people, at least not if I'm not mad. Okay. Shadow, that is fantastic. Shadow's just saying he's almost at 700 subscriptions. This is absolutely fantastic, Shadow. You know, absolutely everybody give him a hands up. And give him a high five, clap for him, give him congratulations, however you want to put it together. And we have Raymond L. I did not see you wander in. Um, you know, so yeah, I think what we're going to know, I don't think about it. Okay, on Wednesday, we are going to deal with believe in yourself. And we're going to go one step further than what we're doing here. Now, take a sheet. You've got your paper handy, I hope. Take a pen, take a needle in your finger for all that matters to me. Although I will tell you that will be a painful way of doing it. Okay. Take a look what's going on around you and what your immediate area looks like. Is anything out of place? Anything at all? Okay. Now I've already dealt with that because my office is sorted out. Okay, I have now on Wednesday we deal with that's on Wednesday. On Thursday, I'm going to be a little preoccupied gaming. On Friday, we deal with the paranormal. And let me see here. We have here's a couple of things. Okay, these are the topics that we're choosing from as far as, oh, wait a minute. Friday, we are covering. Friday is 20th. Okay. Yeah, so Friday's already booked because the 20th, which is in 2 days, we're covering past lives. The 27th, we're going to deal with understanding. We're going to be looking at generational curses, how to deal with them, how to modify them so you can actually start moving forward. Tonight, it's a question of killing off procrastination. And rest assured, procrastination has created more problems for me than anything else. And I'm pretty certain it's done the same from your end. Now, let's scroll down because I'm pretty certain I missed a few. Yes, you are right there, Phil. And Philip, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You are absolutely right that today is Wednesday. That usually gets me a little bit lost, but hey, what the heck? I can work with it. Okay. And you're more than welcome there, Joe. So you're right. You literally pick anything that is out of sequence. Okay. Wednesday, we're going to deal with this and take your self-esteem, your tendency to put things on hold. Okay. Now, where do we got here? I saw a question. Where are we here? Somebody asked a question that I missed. I know I missed it. Scroll back up a little, see if that's where it was. There we are. Thought I saw that. Football and Football Cat. Thank you so much. I found your last question, the question I was looking for, because you put it in all caps. And what Football Cat had asked is, does Bigfoot kidnap pretty people? Number one, Bigfoot doesn't kidnap anybody. Okay, not that I've ever heard of. Bigfoot will lead people to a safer area. I know this firsthand, but I've never heard of them kidnapping anybody. And what they see as good looking or as pretty is not going to be what humans see as pretty. Let's face it, a female woman is not, from Bigfoot standpoint, is not hirsute enough. So no, they do not, from anything I've ever heard, they don't do any kidnapping. Okay. But will they be seen with people that have been lost? Certainly. But that's because the person got lost. Bigfoot found them and is guiding them back into what humans call civilized territory. Okay. Now where are we here? Okay. I'm just looking at what I asked earlier there, Adam. And Adam's just saying it was a fairly tight grouping, seemed almost like it was just one big object. The reason I ask is this. With the tail on ships, okay, they sit above the cloud and invariably looks like you've got different colored spotlights that are coming down, but they're lighting the cloud from the backside. And they do it in the various different colors. Okay. But it's really kind of weird because they'll have two that'll go in figure eights, you know, one going figure eight and then the other going crosswise. Okay. And usually those will be your red and blue. And then your yellow and green will come in and just kind of dart around in an almost haphazard fashion. Philip, I'm not entirely certain what people would consider pretty in a Bigfoot. There are Bigfoot females that are absolute dolls to work with. Okay, whether they're pretty, for me, hey, I'm pretty much taking on one human here. So I'm gonna stick with that one and just be done with it. But you've got your first question down, your first change written down. Friday the 27th, are going to be dealing with generational. And then we've got Saturday, we don't have listed, but Saturday, why do we do that? Because it actually does play havoc with people. Again, don't think, let me see what I've got here. Scroll, yeah. I'm trying to tilt the papers onto the table. That always works. Oh, we're dealing with past lives on the 20th, so we won't deal with that. So, where it comes to this coming Saturday, not this Saturday, rather, I'm actually booking for the 28th at this point. Okay, because on the 21st, on this Saturday, we're going to be looking at dream journals. I will have to take your word for that one there, Philip. Philip goes, pretty is a visible ratio of 1.618. I will grant you, I'll go with that. I've got nothing to work with there. Ah, and Philip, this applies to so many people, myself included. Philip goes, my procrastination is mostly anxiety. I think. Therefore I procrastinate. But if you don't think, you can run into a pretty serious problem. So this is one of the things I'm looking at. And of course, with the gaming, I do have to do this. Get a couple of the characters sorted around. Gaming, by the way, is for Tuesday night. Okay, but with that in mind, you've got that first job down. Now you notice I've got a number of things already on my list. Get the office done. That's done. Let me see here. Football. I am presuming that question you're asking is that question is directed at me. And if I'm mistaken there, just clarify that I won't bother going there. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm certainly not attracted to anybody else. Okay, it's amazing how many people I get and that send me stuff on LinkedIn. Oh, take a look at my pictures. It's like, how about not? Whoop. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now, football. We will start with the obvious issue from this standpoint. Okay. Football's asking, can an off-worlder be a soulmate? Absolutely yes. Okay, it absolutely can be. The thing you gotta remember with a soulmate is that when a soul and when both corporeal bodies die, that's when the souls will merge and become a higher entity. But yes, it absolutely can be another race, another species, an off-worlder, an ancient race. In all fairness, your soulmate could be a pine cone. Now, bear in mind, a pine cone grows up to be a pine tree. So it could be a while before you get together with them. I wish I had an answer to that there, Philip. I understood LinkedIn is a business app, but it is amazing how many people go, "Oh, we can get together. Just contact me at this number to take a look at my pictures." I'm telling you, I got no interest in looking at somebody else's pictures. Okay, it just doesn't do a whole lot of good for me. Heck, I don't turn to the sites that show a whole pile of people. And I will tell you, I did discover something, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, that's Friday. Saturday, I still have to work out. Saturday, yeah, that's right. So, still gotta, okay, stop that thought line. That's to me. Don't have a topic yet filled in. And like I said, I'm going to leave it sit the Monday night show. I'm going to leave the definitive topic to the end of the show. Whoever comes up with the first topic under the alien genre for this coming Monday, that's the one we work with. Whoever comes up with it first, that's the one we work with. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday I've still got picked. And Saturday is relegated to self-help. Okay. Philip, I'm not entirely certain, number one, what a green daddy is, unless we're talking about an Orion. Okay. And I certainly don't know what sugar card is. Yes, this may well be my obtuseness coming through. But I haven't got a clue how to answer that. But apparently, by the reactions, I'd say somebody's got a clue. But then, like I said, like I mentioned a long time ago, okay, I mentioned a long time ago that I am probably one of the densest people on the planet. Black Dragon goes, I think I have two female spirits and a female alien that is in love with me. Well, at least you can't complain about not having a social life. But I really do caution you, where it comes to aliens, be certain you pick one that is compatible with your idea of life. Okay, so what am I looking at here? Yeah, why don't we deal with that on Saturday? It's not exactly self-help, but this is something that's kind of necessary. Okay, so what I'm doing is marking it in here. I'm going to move it over there. Is Saturday, so I'm booked all the way now until the 28th. Like I said, it was a question of getting organized. And this is what I mean. If you haven't done so already, write on a sheet of paper, write on your computer. If you're going to write on your computer, I suggest not using whiteout. It screws up the screen. Okay. It also ends up every time you scroll, the whiteout doesn't go with it. But I've now booked all the way to the 28th here. Actually, technically the 29th. Except for the Monday. Okay, except the alien topic on the 23rd. So, 24th, we have gaming characters, which means I've got some work I got to deal with. Some painting and what have you. Then on the 25th, we have set to work on taking your life from where it is to exactly where you desire it to be. using literally the same tools that I personally have put to use. Okay, so that's the 25th. We go there. 26th, I'm not on. 27th, we will be dealing with generational curses and habitual self-destruction, if you will. Okay. Black Dragon goes, FYI, if there are any little demons running around, I am not the father. Yeah. Joe's going, the last thing I need in my home is a bad spirit. Another weird conversation with my parents. Yeah, the neat thing there, Joe, and I do mean this in all seriousness. Okay, when you're dealing with that, at least you've got the benefit of having your parents still around. At least I hope they're still around to have weird conversations with. I made an absolutely stupid move over a decade ago. Now, bear in mind, my parents have only been gone for 5 years. Okay, but I made the mistake of not putting things to rest. So we now have that's dealt with. Those are all put where they belong. Now you'll notice I've got this neat little list. Okay. I know you can't really see it, but there's the list there. I've got little check marks down beside the things I've already completed. Yeah. So, Nathan, I presume the work is a little on the hectic side today. I appreciate the suggestion there, Philip. The answer there, football, is unfortunately my parents were a little bit critical of my kids, and they didn't develop as much of a relationship as I should have encouraged. But that is I take a lot of that responsibility myself. Bear in mind, they lived an hour south of us, and I would get lost very quickly. Yeah, I would get lost very quickly on my way down there, more often than not. So traveling was, to say the least, a little stressful. But I will tell you, for those of you that do still have parents around, parents, friends, family, anybody that you've lost contact with, whether it is due to fallout or circumstance, absolutely make a point of patching it up before either one of you die. Because it's so much easier to deal with it before you die than it is afterward. You know, but yeah, my parents did not have as strong a relationship as I should have pushed for. Oh yeah, they did, but they because they were getting on, they didn't travel much either. Okay, so it was not a good way to end it, and this is one of the reasons I keep coming back to the idea: if you have had a fallout with somebody, regardless of what the fallout was caused by, put the past behind you. Go with the clean slate protocol. Okay, you cannot change the past. And we've had this discussion before, but I'm not going into it. That being said, okay, that being said, you can alter where your life is going. So you get your list down. Okay, now I've got books here that are completely where they don't belong. There they are. So we take these, put them back up. Now, I have, where are we here? open that. And there we are. Okay. Don't mind me. Heart just decided it was going to go sideways on me. But you start your list. And like I said, put down the first thing. But when you look at it, make sure you keep that list to a 15-minute to half-hour task. So you can get it racked off and adjusted. I didn't come back to that. Dang it. Gee, that was nearly rude. Who was it that asked me a little earlier? Just scrolling up a bit, I do recall seeing a question. There you go. It was you, Philip. Philip asked, do I do online gaming too? At this point, the answer is no. I haven't found one that moves slow enough for me. Most online gaming, number one, the video runs too fast for my eyes to track properly. So if there's a turn-based game, then I could probably work that one. Right now, I stick to offline Skyrim. And even that can get a little much on occasion. Okay. But, yeah. Where are we here? Scroll all the way down here. Yeah, Philip's going, nowadays kids do online gaming. Both my boys live with me. One son will be in his bedroom playing online, with the other one being in the living room, with them both playing online. Okay. Now, the answer to your question there, what do we got here? Yeah, football's asking, can you communicate with animals at the zoo? The answer there is yes. Okay, this is one of the reasons that I find it very difficult at the zoo, because most of the animals there, they are not emotionally being taken care of at all. Okay, they're stuck in a very small enclosure with no room to relax, no room to unwind. Okay, you know, but yes, I've had a lot of wonderful conversations when I was younger. I don't think I've been to a zoo now in, well, 25 years. Um, and then what do we got here? Yeah, Joe goes, I haven't done it, never will, for a lot of reasons. Telling the cemetery office during the day this place is very haunted at night is not a good idea. No, in all fairness, Joe, that ranks up there with giggling and joking about a bomb in the airport. Really bad idea. No, Philip, there isn't. There used to be a petting zoo, but our wonderful government shut it down. Our wonderful city hall shut it down. You know, there is now. I'm in Kelowna, about 60, well, about an hour north of me. It's a place called Vernon that does have a kangaroo zoo, and I've never been to it. Okay, but apparently they have kangaroos, emus. I don't think they've got an ostrich, but I heard tell they do have a couple of wallabies, that sort of thing. Okay, which is really kind of a neat setup. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me there, Adam. We used to have a bar called the Zoo, but I don't think that's what you guys are looking for. I actually, Philip, Vernon, as in, whoop, that didn't work. Where did I type that? I wonder. There we go. Black Dragon. If you can get me a description of the race, I might be able to tell you who it is or what race it is. I'm currently expanding everything right now. And this is why I've been going through paperwork left, right, and center. The worst thing you can ever do is procrastinate. A worst thing in my opinion. But I've got this list I'm checking off as I go. Matter of fact, this was supposed to be done yesterday, so it gets done today as soon as I get off shift, because it's as soon as I get off the stream here. Okay, because it's time to get things moving right. Now, once you've got that first goal run down laid out, put one and make sure it's down to a 15-minute to half-hour task. Okay, then add the second one. Find a second thing, because as soon as we get done, like as soon as we're done this stream, it's time to get started working on the different goals, and let's start making things change. Okay, now where is it? When I send for Tuesday, I'm going to have some of the figures painted. Not by any stretch even close to what World puts out, but I'm going to finish this little monster off. Okay, before I'll be working on him tonight while I'm doing other things up front. But I am intent on finishing that figure. Haven't picked what the other figures are, but I do have a number of them to work with. Oh, Joe goes, well, the good news is what I was seeing back there has stopped. There's a way I look at this. This may just punch a hole in things. Okay. No doubt there, Philip. Oh, I'm glad the newsletter arrived there, football. I did notice a couple of things, and this is one of the reasons I went through the whole array of them and got that organized as well. Okay. Um, I've got to get really on top. You know, yeah. I'm just looking at Philip. I can deal with a lot of what you call the naked apes. Absolutely. How you doing, Emmy? I'm glad you could join us. I'm presuming your day has been going well. At least I hope it has been. I am going to take. Let me think here. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I am going to pick a couple of extra figures to complete. This one isn't going to take a lot to complete. Okay, but I did go through a massive overhaul of book 11 and 12 in order to get things organized with the Yldrbacian Chronicles. Now you've got your first two tasks laid out. Hopefully, okay. If you do, this is great because I can give you the tools. I can give you tools I know for an absolute certainty work. But if you don't pick the tool up, it won't help. Okay, and that's just the reality behind it. You know, but it's time to really get an idea. Now, let me ask you this, guys. Okay, because again, what I'm looking at is what if we're looking, well, not if we're looking at this live stream. Okay, and if you've got any suggestions, any topics, any direction that you feel would be beneficial for this, I'm telling you, I'm on my own on the marketing side. I'm pretty certain my meeting tomorrow is going to be a waste of my time. But the work has not been useless. It's helped me get my head on straight regarding what I've got to do. So I've got the YouTube comments. I also have to post the different books and articles. Now, that's as far as I'm going to go for the moment. Okay, I've got a couple of articles I do desire to get posted, as well as, quite frankly, a live stream, or not live, but a pre-recorded. Where are we here? Go back up to black. Yeah, Black Dragon is just saying using a simple yes and no questions. That's when things got weird. Now, I don't know what led into that. Quite frankly, somewhere up here, you probably start. There we go. I always Black Dragon was saying earlier. I always had a connection to the spirits, but the alien one blows my mind. I don't even know which species it is. I did read that. That being said, like I said, Black, if you can get me even a rough idea of what we're looking at, we might be able to help you pin that down to a degree as far as who it is. You know, trail cams are wonderful. I mean, the trail cams and those remote control probes, okay, are picking up a staggering amount of hitherto unseen stuff. Okay, this is a phenomenal world that we're living in, but it boils down to we have to start treating it as such. Okay, the amount of people I talk to that go, "Oh, that's not a good idea. You can't do that. That won't work." We gotta stop with the "it won't work." Okay, I made the mistake the other day. Okay, what do we got here? Ah, there we go. Nathan's just giving an example. Yeah, what he did to contact the Klee Clock was to visualize the picture and descriptions. I appreciate that there, I definitely appreciate that there, Nathan. Um, Hopefully that book will show up for you. Now, it's not the second printing. It's simply a second copy. And when your first one shows up, hand it off to somebody. You know, one of the reasons I tell people that your imagination can open incredible doorways. Yes, some of you may look at it and go, "Oh, I imagined it and that's why it came about." Sooner or later you'll realize it's actually a lot more complicated than that and a lot more simple at the same time. That one I can safely say technically the answer is yes, I could. Except none of my gaming friends are that open that they're going to be acting about anything. You know, we don't, in all fairness, the way I dress here is the same way I dress at the gaming table. We do not have all the theatrics there. Okay, but I will tell you this. Um, with a book, that might not be a bad idea. As a matter of fact, that's an excellent idea. Um, where are we here? Do I have anything listed? Let me just check. There. That's November. Paranormal entertainment. Ah, see, in the November edition of the of Positive Perspectives, I've got a spot. I was going to do an excerpt from The Birth of the Wolf Pack, and I now know exactly which one to do. Okay. And that is at the end of The Birth of the Wolf Pack, there is a section, there is a chunk where the gamers are playing. Okay. Where the gamers are actually in the story. Like I said, I'm a little twisted. Okay. But I've just marked it in for my planning for the November edition. That's where I'll pull the excerpt from. Because I ain't quite figured it out, but that works out quite nicely. And of course, that also opens the door for December's, because in December's, I'll move into the return into the end of an epoch, which is book 11, and you'll see what the gamers actually did. Let's minimize that. I will see what I can do, but I will tell you, artwork is not my strong suit. I have started working on it. Okay, I really have, but I am not good at it. That is for absolute certainty. Oh, Adam goes, my question and my question comment isn't coming through. Could I check? Yeah, absolutely. Where did I put it? I do not see it. There it is. As you can see, got my phone right here. Absolutely, Adam. Text it to me, and I will relay it to the channel here. Okay, it's good to go. And as soon as it comes in, I will certainly relay it and give you an answer to it, if at all possible. I do not know why it's not coming through. There we go. Ah, Adam. That's just open. There we go. And what Adam has said is, I'm thinking about going back to school for a Bachelor of Supply Chain Management. The manager in Brooks doesn't think I can do it. So it's sort of out of spite, but also to better myself and go further in my career. I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. You know, and as far as the guy saying you can't do it, that'd be the first motivation to go, yeah, I certainly can. Okay. Um, you know, but yeah, Adam, absolutely go after it. Okay, and being a little bit of a in spite of thing, absolutely, whatever motivation works that doesn't break karmic law, and that certainly doesn't, is an excellent way to get yourself motivated. What have we got here? Nathan's going about the Klee clock. I did mention mental psychic equivalent of taking the phone number from the back of a book, of matches, and tried the number. Yeah, yeah, there's all sorts of ways of doing that. But yeah, first of all, Adam, that is an excellent goal. This is why I actually approached the Australian what is it now? Australian Institute of Business, I think it's called. Okay, of business management, because I have an absolute necessity to get things underway, and clearly I'm not going to get the backup from my own government. So I'm going to do it my way. And yes, I am starting to look into YouTube to see what I can learn from that. But as we all know, that's not necessarily a strong suit of mine to start with. But I will tell you, I'm 60. Do not postpone improving your life and getting set up for the retirement years. Okay, you don't desire to be going through what I'm going through right now. Okay, this is just a bad idea. Um, I get a kick out of this. You know, you do realize, Adam, if or not Adam, sorry, you do realize, Nathan, if you can see the cemetery from every window, you do realize that sounds like it puts you right smack in the middle of the cemetery. Yeah. Adam goes, I do a fair number of things out of spite, but this is something that can elevate me from just a driver to management. Oh, that was easy, Philip. I ended up somebody from the Australian Institute had dropped me a line. And this case, I don't know if it came through Facebook or if it came through LinkedIn, but they dumped this line to me, so I reached out. Really nice people, way beyond my financial capacity right now, but really nice people. Oh, okay. Although I do like the idea of having a house in the cemetery. Of course, I'm twisted. You know, I already made it to the morgue. I just hope my kids never get any closer. But where are we here? Oh yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there, Emmy. You know, it's one thing, and this is why I don't mind when they turned around. Now, there are animals that should have been, in my opinion, left in the zoo because they were born there, they were raised there. It's the only life they had. Throwing them out into the wild is just not right. But the way they train circus animals, that was just plain appalling. Okay. That really was reminiscent of the way they train slaves. You know, this is where one of my characters in the game that I run on Sunday decided to do something absolutely brilliant. He saw a bunch of animals that were all in chains. And because he was a magic user, he just simply went unlock and release some of the animals. Tell you that was instant bedlam. Well, heck, Philip, I don't trust humans with my, and that sounds really bad, but it's very much the case. But then again, it's not just humans. Trust for me is a very big problem. Okay, part of it is because of the fact that I've tried so many times and asked for help and been shafted. Okay, that you just look and start off with, no, it's not going to work, and you move forward from there. I can virtually guarantee that she knew you were an empath there, Emmy. Elephants are one of the most sensitive creatures I've run into. Thankfully, I didn't run into them head on. You know, but no, I always reach out to the animals. I'll stop and talk to a dog. I used to be terrified of dogs, where a barking dachshund would freeze me. Oh, Philip goes, a big cat recently killed a circus person somewhere in Eastern Europe. I didn't look it up to see the video, but I can imagine. Yeah, if a kitten is going to tear a guy apart, they're not going to be polite about it. You know, and realistically, I certainly don't feel for them. You know, I feel for the person and for the people left behind, absolutely. But you desire your life to change now. Get started with a list and only start with 3 things on list. Technically, you're starting with 1. Okay, but right here, right now is the only time that you can ever get anything accomplished. And it is literally up to you. Now, the tools, like I said, the tools I offer are the same ones I personally use. As you can see, my list is growing. Okay, and you'll notice, okay, this stack of stuff that was here is gone. I've got some loose stuff that's got to be taken from here. Although the boxes here, these are comics. So I will be, I will be looking for an actual comic collector. Okay, to sell the comics off, right? Yeah, they are, but it used to be the barking that would freeze me. So I will be getting rid of most of the comics. Some of them are, well, I quit collecting comics in the 80s, so that might give you an idea. But they're all individually wrapped in plastic. They're all backed with cardboard, so they're in really good shape. Okay, I suspect from a collector standpoint, I suspect that they are classified as in fine condition. Football goes, I refuse to give my money to SeaWorld. Well, that's okay. I think SeaWorld's been emptied at this point. I'm pretty certain that they actually emptied. Oh, wait a minute. SeaWorld's in Seattle. Is it not football? But I think a lot of the aquariums got emptied. Oh, football goes San Antonio also. Oh, okay. Gives you an idea how much up on top of that I am. Okay. But yeah, anytime that you're looking at somebody being abusive to animals, and circuses and zoos are notorious for it. Even some pet shops are absolutely pathetic. There's this one pet shop close to me that I go in regularly. The guy is always talking to his pet, I'll call them his pets. They're all in their own cages and what have you, but the place is always kept in immaculate state. You know, oh, I'm a firm believer personally, and this is rude, I'll admit that. The people that run puppy mills, I got no problem sending the people through the mill. Yeah, that's exactly the problem I run into. You know, I get so many people, and here's a message for anybody sending me a link saying, "Oh, I'm a professional CEO for marketing company, and I've looked at your YouTube channel, it looks great, but it's not ranking well, and we can do this for you." I'm not interested. Well, I'm interested. I don't have the money to bother with it. And, I got told one day, I says, look, I've been shafted so often, I'm not willing to gamble. And they came back with, well, it's not right to judge other people based on your past experiences. Well, it may not be right, but it is the way I operate. You get burned often enough, and you just don't do that. Phil's just going, SeaWorld has a few places like Orlando, Florida, and somewhere in Southern California, or used to. No, yeah, absolutely football. You know, it really shouldn't be. But you desire to change your life, like I said, and this is why I said what I don't know is if any of you have done this. And like I said, these tools work, but only if you use them. Okay, that list has grown. As you saw when I started, it was only 3 at the top. Everything is down to the last 3 are now checked off. From my standpoint, it really boils down to one little detail. You desire your life to change. You have to be the one to do it. So I've got that sorted around now. Still working in my head on what topic to cover regarding aliens on Monday. Okay, because we're not going to get there until next Monday. But I figure, what the heck? I might as well put it out there. Oh, that's just so wrong in so many ways. You know, where are we here? Oh, yeah, a little up there. Emmy goes, I looked at the snakes at the circus. They were lying in their own feces, and they even told me how sad they felt. Snakes are incredibly good beings. We used to go snake hunting every year when I was on the island. But then you gotta remember, we had 2 acres. My mom was terrified of snakes, and dad wasn't impressed. So we'd take a great big metal garbage can, half fill it with hay, and we would spend 4 days walking around our 2 acres, collecting up the snakes, put them in the garbage can, and at the end of 4 days, we'd take them across the street and pour them into the neighbor's 7 acre yard. Okay, because he had a mouse problem. So we'd take them out of our yard, pour them into his. The snakes were moved from our yard so that my parents didn't have to deal with them. Okay, the snakes, of course, on our property would run out of food, so we'd take them over to where there was food. Not good news for the mice, but of course, I think the mice ran across the street to our yard too. And this was just ongoing for 9 years. Now, to be frank with you there, Philip, I'm not entirely certain I want to know, but I have no idea what a toe nipple is. Oh yeah, they did. Every year. This is why for 9 years running, we would do the same thing at about the same time. At the end of summer, we would take them and we'd go hunting around, collect them up, and take them back across the field and pour them over in their field. At that point, they fed all winter because the mouse population would climb in the 7 acre field, and the snakes would go look for them. You know, but the smallest snake I ever picked up was about that long. The longest was a 4 foot blue diamondback, and it was a blue diamondback garter. Okay, but that was a big snake. I thought it was bad when I picked up it was the 3 foot one. But you take your goals and you start working on them. Um, I know you're still listening somewhere around here, Nathan. If you get this, I am curious if you're making any headway with your project, or if you ran into a little bit of a stonewall with it. You know, the reality is, like, this guy that's got the pet shop that I go to. Like I told him, I can't take the pets home. You know, I can't take the pets home at all because I can't have a pet at my house. Mind you, that works out in my favor. Okay, because I really don't have a life that I don't have the time really to pay proper attention to a pet. So I'm just not going to go there. And besides that, I've been without pets now for 15 years, right? And if I really want to see pets, I go to the pet store, or I can go over to the X's and see her pets. She's still got a number of them. Philip, in your case, if you, and again, this boils down to make it happen. Okay, I forget who the actors were, but there was a movie out probably 25 years ago now called The Bucket List. Absolutely, I encourage you to make one. In my case, I've got a couple of things I do desire to do. One will be going down to Texas. Pet plants I used to, rest assured, the plants I've got, I do talk to. One of my best friends, and this sounds really sad, was a little croton named Gordon. Now, Gordon was a caffeine addict. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Adam. With Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman that played in the Bucket List. But no, Gordon was a croton, but he was a caffeine addict. Okay. Since then, since I finally made contact with him, most of my plants, and who do I got up front? Nope, Vic died. I'm trying to remember who I've got up front. I don't talk to them a lot because, well, frankly, some plants just don't talk. You know, not all plants do. Gordon was just extremely vocal. You know, but yes, I can have a pet plant. They stay in one place. You know, I've got a cactus. One of the cactus I've got up front. Oh, the cactus I've got up front is also Christoph. Okay, that's his name. He is a clipping from a 100-year-old Christmas cactus. Now, why he calls himself Christoph, I don't know. That's not when he was born, that's for certain. But oh, I'm guessing his last incarnation was a coffee drinker. I was walking by him one day, about a week after I got him. And I walked by, I was like very close, had my coffee cup in hand. I went to walk by him and I hear this, "Where's my coffee?" I stopped, looked around, there was nobody else home. And he called out again and I looked directly at him and I went, "What do you mean, where's your coffee?" He goes, "Where's my coffee?" Hold up. Went and grabbed a cold cup of coffee, well, a cold quarter cup of coffee and poured it into his soil. Right. And he turns around and all you get is this phenomenal. I'm like, okay, little addicted, are we? And he goes, "And you're not?" From that day forward, I kid you not, I seldom gave him seldom gave him straight water. Usually it was cold coffee, because you don't pour hot coffee into a plant. This is just a categorical disaster. You know, I mean, he would have lived a lot longer. But when I had my stroke, my boys were much more concerned about whether I was going to live through it than they were about whether or not the plants did. Yeah. Black Dragon goes, "I have snakes on my property." Whoop, where are we? Most are not venomous. Yes. Well, let's face it. If the coffee was too strong for Gordon, it would burn his roots. And he knew it. Quite frankly, so did I. Made that mistake one day. That was actually what led me to make weaker coffee. Right? Because I was making normal coffee. Right? And then, of course, I lived on my own. I was reclusive. So I started to have my morning coffee with Gordon. Right? But boy, did he like it a lot when I toned down the strength of the coffee. Yes, like I said, I've got a weird life. But yeah, Gordon absolutely loved his coffee. And fortunately, he did not have a sweet tooth. Gotta ask you, Black. My presumption is that most of the snakes on your are probably garden snakes. Oh, absolutely. When I was growing up, we had 40 chickens in a chicken coop. You know, and we didn't call them free range because, well, frankly, they were in a chicken coop. They were in a fenced yard. Okay, so that we could keep track of where they were, sort of. You know, but yeah, chickens will absolutely they will kill a snake. But then you got to remember, snakes will eat chicken eggs. Okay, and for some reason, the chickens don't can't take kindly to that. You know, I mean, I always liked the idea of having the old style chickens. The four honkas, and that would be great. Except you need a room, and you got to bring the dead ones back because both are prehistoric birds. It's kind of like having the mole walking around on your property. 18-foot bird. Not necessarily a good idea. But take a look at where your life is. You desire it to change. Now is the time to do it. Okay. And tonight I lost what I'd done. So tonight one of the things I'm doing is putting the specs together for really getting started on the consulting side, as well as now let me ask you this, guys, because in case you hadn't pieced it together, I've got a fair chunk of knowledge sitting up here. But in the way of an educational course that is not that may be offered elsewhere, that would absolutely be done online, what topics are you guys really do you guys really find intriguing? Because quite seriously, the options are quite open in my case. Yeah, I agree. That's a little on the gross side. Football is just going. I watch a pest exterminator on YouTube, and he feeds wasp larvae to his chickens and squirrel. Well, and then she goes gross, which I absolutely agree with. I knew a guy that he was actually a pest. He was pest control, but he came in and he was working on killing an underground wasp nest. And when he told me, and when I was talking to him, he says, yeah, a number of years ago, about a decade earlier, he'd been stung to death. I looked at him and I said, so this job is kind of retaliation. He looks at me and chuckles and goes, yeah, pretty much. You know, but there are all sorts of ways of keeping a balance. From my standpoint, it really boils down to making certain you stay on track. Okay, with what you require. Now, the one thing I will tell you is it doesn't matter what the course is. The only stipulation is to realize if you were hoping to attain a particular degree by the time you were 20 and you're now 30, you're not getting that degree by the time you're 20. That doesn't mean you can't get it or you don't have the ability. And Adam, absolutely get off your tail feathers and go after that degree. Go after that course. You know, by the way, here's an odd question for you. Is there actually a politically correct way of telling somebody that I'm not going to sway over to that I'm not going to swap over to their religion or to their fear? You know, I had somebody the other day, just today, was going off about how the banking system is corrupt. Get out of the banking system, go to this other online banking system because it's not corrupt. How do you tell somebody you're still looking at a banking system run by humans. Okay, you're still looking at that problem. You know, I mean, the guy goes, when the banking system collapses, you got to be involved with this other system. I can set you up right away. And I wrote him back. I said, that's great, assuming that the entire network doesn't collapse, at which point you're hooped anyway. You know, so I figure, people ask me, are you prepared for what's coming? I'm like, as best I can be, but I don't think you're quite aware of where that's going. You know, so I know I'm hoping she shows up here. If not, I'm going to drop her a line. I've got a couple of messages here that I've got to drop a line to. Yeah, what I do with my coffee grounds, because I don't have a lot of, I don't actually have a lot of plants. My ex, on the other hand, absolutely has plants all over the place. Grows her own pocket gardens. What are they? Driveway garden pots. Right. Yeah. Philip goes, I survived 2012. Yeah. If I recall correctly, I think I died in 2012. But, it runs together after a while. On the other hand, I did survive metal slides, metal merry-go-rounds, biking without a helmet. I survived riding in the back of a pickup truck. Heck, I survived getting out of the car, and into the back of the pickup truck while we were driving. Yeah. See, I'm just looking at getting debt free at this point. I still owe money, but I'm working on it. Of course, not having an income for 6 months, sorry, 10 months, hasn't really helped. You know, but am I worried about? I'm not looking at buying a house anyway. I will tell you this, Philip. Bankruptcy itself helps only the bankruptcy trustee. That's the only person it helps. I've been bankrupt twice. Both times I was guided to it by a professional. And I will tell you, it was the stupidest move I could have made. Because number one, I got the debt legitimately of my own accord. Okay, so by going bankrupt, I didn't pay back what I legitimately owed. Okay, the companies that loaned me money didn't get the money they loaned me in good faith. So those two people lost out in the bankruptcy. The only person that gets benefit out of you going bankrupt is the bankruptcy trustee. Yeah, well done, Nathan. Yeah, no doubt, world. Like I'm right now, I've got two credit cards that are jacked, but I've had to live on them. And now it's a question of getting them out of the way. You know, they were a great invention for the people inventing them, but they have led to an absolute disaster, which I know for an absolute certainty when the estate for my brother's passing clears, the first thing that goes out the window will be my credit card debt. You know, the second one will be the car I'm paying on. But I'm paying on the car because, well, frankly, I find it hard to find the oil cap. So I figured get a car where a mechanic will deal with it. I'm happy. But again, you desire your life to change. I'm looking into, you know, I'm looking into a lot of changes, not the least of which is my wardrobe. My hairstyle, sorry guys, this I will keep removing from time to time. The sideburns are staying, the hair, after 20 years of it being styled the same way, I'm not fighting to train it. Yeah, they absolutely were their world. Okay. See, I still like to look at the world from the old gentleman contractor standpoint. You say, this is what I'm going to do. Shake hands and both you go, that's what I'm doing. Nobody used to look for a major loophole. Now they do it all the time. Okay. And I will tell you, if I can help people realize that you don't have to live you don't have to live by going into debt. I can show people now how to turn that around. And yes, I'm using the same tools myself, but I am running low. You know, where are we here? Philip goes, I just found an emoji for when your cheese box tips over and lands on the upright stick. Yeah, that's terrible. Um, but no, the reality is if you desire your life to change, get off your tail feathers and make it happen now. But do not let people tell you you can't do that. Okay? My parents, every week, every Sunday morning, we always used to recite one poem. Okay, and the one line stuck with me. I don't remember the rest of it. But that poem starts off with, on the part I remembered, can't is a word that is foe to ambition. Lord, no. I am not. It's like I told my other half. I'm pretty certain that my attachment to the sideburns, other than the fact they grow that way, is my father had sideburns for his life for all of his life, except for the last week he was alive. Okay. And I've got no interest in letting them go. I am, they are getting a little longer, and I'm just plain, all I do is I shave up underneath them to keep the jawline clear, because I will tell you, this part gets itchy in the summer. Yeah, Philip goes, Napoleon feared cats. It was his superstition. See, I don't fear cats. I know they're a pain in the neck on occasion, but I get along with them really well. But it is a well known fact that cats are more sensitive to psychic phenomenon than other animals. This is just something you come to understand. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to go get a little more water here because it's kind of a necessity in this case. And we are back. Call that a commercial break, if you will. Now, what do we got that I missed? Okay, here we go. Oh, heavens, yeah, Black. I absolutely agree. Only telling people that, look, I mean, like, I keep getting these same things from the people that run crypto. Oh, you gotta get involved in this. It's a great thing. It's a new big thing. It's like, guys, doesn't work for me. Yeah, no doubt there, Philip. Philip's going, it's dangerous. It's money laundering, organized crime haven. You know, I mean, is there any other, there is disorganized crime, but ultimately that's what it boils down to, Nathan. And usually it's somebody that's got a whole sheepload of money to start with. Now, myself, I don't have a lot of money. Matter of fact, I'm just about out. Which, of course, begs the question of why I'm intent on doing things that are free and offering free insight. Oh, absolutely there, Nathan. I actually got a call from somebody the other day and I do this myself. When I go to get rid of something, I look at it and go, okay, do I know anybody that can put it to use? That I can just swap it off and send it to them. You know, yeah, the old method of barter was such a better method in my eyes. People believed that you work for what you get. They didn't go, hey, I'm X years old, therefore I'm entitled. Yeah, you're X years old, so you're entitled to get your tail feathers off the couch. Well, I want dinner. Uh-huh. And your point is what? My parents, when I was growing up, my parents did have remote control. They had six of us. Funny thing is, my parents actually would get off the couch to change their own TV. The way I look at it, like I figured out a way, and this is why I said I've had to reset everything and go, okay, I've got to pick a day and get everything tracked properly. Well, the funny thing was, mom and dad had five natural kids. Okay, my eldest was 3.5 pounds. The next one was born brilliant blue. Next one was born absolutely snow white. Then I was born mottled green and black, and my little brother was born standard Caucasian. Well, so was the oldest one. And then, of course, our adopted sister was born absolutely red. We had a colorful family, you know. And then mom and dad didn't, and they figured they had five boys and went, we really desire a girl, so we're going to adopt one. So they did. You know, and then that wasn't enough. So mom and dad decided, hey, let's foster a couple of girls as well. Yeah, it was a rainbow family, but it was a rainbow family in actual color. It wasn't, we grew up in a time when if you told somebody that if you said somebody was gay, you meant they were happy. Okay, and it had nothing to do with the rainbow. They were just happy. And maybe this is why I have trouble figuring out whether or not I'm happy. I know I'm annoyed with a lot of things. Okay. And I know I am striving to turn the lights on and go, okay, people, like Nathan here has said, we gotta go back to the bartering services. Okay. It's absolutely imperative. Because I will tell you this. We have a power outage, and if there is a major failure, everybody that has money no longer will. For those of us that don't have a lot, it's not going to make a lot of impact. You know, works out kind of convenient from that end. But what do I got here? Still haven't finished the 2030, which is this coming Monday. Oh, right now, right now, with my life, I'm not content with where it is. This is why I'm changing it. But I'm certainly not depressed about what my life looks like. The finances, yeah, that annoys me, but that was brought about by absolute abject stupidity, avoidance, and procrastination. Great combination. Okay, talk about a recipe for disaster. And this is why I say, if I can give you and give people, oh, yeah, and that stands to reason, Philip. See, because it's getting warmer up north, the polar bears are moving further south. Net result, the polar bears are driving the grizzly bears a little further south yet. Okay, and I will tell you, you cannot, the idea, you can climb a tree to get away from a grizzly bear, but that's how you tell the difference between a grizzly bear and a black bear. A black bear will chase you up the tree. A grizzly bear will push the tree down. And remember, if you're out hiking, you don't have, and a bear starts chasing you, you don't have to outrun the bear. You only have to outrun the person with you. Okay, that's all you got to outrun. The other one that most people don't realize, you see a lone bull or a lone cow, or a lone cow, you're fine. You see a bear with cubs, go the other direction. Just don't argue the point. The neat part there is it's not only the grizzly bears that are going to come south. It's also going to be your wolverines, and those guys will hunt you down and kill you just because you're within 10 miles. Talk about grumpy little munchkins, but beautiful animals. The thing we have to remember is that this world is going to change. We've got to realize you start pushing into the wilderness, you're stepping into their world. Okay, you are stepping into the world of nature, and nature plays by its rules, and they're not all that civilized. And this is just the reality behind it. So, like I said, you desire your life to change. Now is the time to do something about it. Yeah, Emmy's going, carry sweets when hiking. If you see a bear, throw it at them and then run. But remember, Emmy, if you're going to run from a bear, run downhill. They do not run downhill well. Yeah, Phelps goes, this is about bears that are transplanted from areas that are more crowded, brought back to where they used to be. I get a kick out of that. I can just picture how well that's going to go. Let's take a grizzly bear and drop it off in the middle of a city because that's where the bears used to be. And realistically, I mean, if we take things to a stupid level, that was their land before anybody got here. I'm just a firm believer. I don't like the outdoors that much anyway, so they can have it. Yeah. Amy goes, good to know, Keith, but yeah, well, the reason bears don't run downhill well is their front legs are shorter than their back ones. Of course, the drawback is they do have a stamina that is insane. Oh, I realize they're dropping them off in the upper Cascades. I also know you drop them up in the upper Cascades, sooner or later they're going to work their way down. But I don't have a problem with that personally. Well, that's just it. Like my father worked until he was 80. You know, severe arthritis, and he worked as a sheet metal tech until he was 80 years old. Actually, it was about, I think, let's see, he quit in March. Yeah, he was diagnosed with cancer, with pancreatic cancer in March, and by September he was dead. For me, I really have taken the last year and done just about nothing but right. Should have been studying on marketing. Should have been. Should have been. Should have been. Didn't. Now, am I going to sit here and whine and say I didn't? I should have done it. Well, maybe just for sheeps and giggles, but yeah. Football goes. Last night I listened to 2.5 hours of polar bear attacks on humans. Given the number of animals that people have killed, I really don't have a problem with animals killing people. As a matter of fact, I will tell you, I am 100% in favor of true sport hunting. The people that want to go out, kill a bear, take the head, leave the rest of the carcass behind. I'm 100% behind it. But there is a catch to it. You want to go hunting a grizzly bear. Okay. You want to go hunting a grizzly bear. I'm agreeable to balancing the scales, so here's some football armor, because they've got a lot more padding than you do. Now, here's a spiked club. You go out and you tangle with that bear. You kill that bear with a spiked club. I don't care if you hang the head on the wall. The odds are you're not making it home alive. Bonus. Oh, wait a minute, that was wrong. Well, really wasn't. You know, it's kind of like, way back, a number of years ago, the North American Indians were saying they wanted their whaling rights back. I was 100% for it. And then they went, and I was even willing to go, okay, you desire your original hunting rights back. No problem. I'm even willing to give you powerboats to fish your guys out of the drink. But bear in mind, their original whaling rights were done in a half a dozen longboats with 20 braves to a longboat, and they'd come back with 2 longboats. Okay. The odds weren't great for them. But, they turned around and went, well, they turned around and used high powered rifles in their comment. Okay, the person being interviewed, his comment was, well, our ancestors would have used them if they had them. True, they would have, but they didn't have them, and therefore, those weren't part of the whaling rites. Wasn't part of the whaling rituals. I think it's Borneo that the natives down there is still a tribe on the northern coast of Borneo that their journey into manhood is you take a knife and you go and you kill a shark in the shark infested waters with a knife, not with a spear, not with a gun. You dive into the water and you kill the shark with a knife. Okay. Now, you want to call that a test of manhood? I call that seriously questionable, but what the heck? Yeah, polar bears are they really are a fascinating animal. You know, you're the animal like natural the wild animals. are wonderful critters. You know, Emmy, aside from on video, have you ever actually heard a hyena? I was lucky. I actually got to witness a pack of laughing hyenas, and it is funny the noise they make. But I still think the best one I ever ran at and that I ever ran into was I got to pet a live black panther. There's a lot of things that should be turned around in my ideas, in my eyes. Yeah, Phelps gone. Cougars are scary, but we aren't their food, and they aren't around us all the time. No doubt. Okay, but again, nature is a simple thing. Respect nature, nature will respect you. Okay, but you gotta play by its rules. You desire to change your life. Okay, I can show you the rules that I found out. I actually was, where the heck was I? Do not recall. It was in Calgary somewhere. Not in Calgary, but in Alberta when I was just a wee lad. They had a wide open range. I have no idea where it was, but let's face it, that'd be an issue anyway. But they had a pack of, I think, 5 or 6 ranging hyenas. Okay, but they have the weirdest bark, and it really is. It's a giggling cackle, but it's funny. It's actually funny to listen to. The Black Panther, on the other hand, that one I met in downtown Kelowna. Somebody was raising it. You know, and yes, because of the time, because of where it was when I was a kid, I have had the pleasure of the experience of riding, and I believe it would have to be an Asian elephant. Okay, that was an experience. You know, But no, there's a lot of things in this world, and if we're going to turn this world around, it starts now. Not next week, not tomorrow. It starts now. Okay, and this is why I've got the list now. I'm completely booked for next week, except I haven't dealt with the one for Monday night yet. And what I think I'm going to do, and I think we've covered it before, okay, but I think what we're going to deal with is the similarity between the consortium and the UN and show you the difference, talk about the differences and the reason that they make headway where the UN seems to stonewall itself a lot. Where are we here? There we go. Now I filled in Monday. Yeah. See, I'm lucky. I live in the middle of the city, right? So I don't see cougars. Every once in a while, I'll hear a coyote. Absolutely, football. I will be here on Friday, and of course, Friday we are looking at past lives. So yeah, we are getting right down. Oh, we are at the drop line. So what we do here is this. So yeah, again, guys, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the encouragement and a great 2 hours. It went by a lot quicker than I was expecting. Okay, I will be back again tomorrow. But that said, until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.